Hi everyone, my name is Emma. I like Disney musicals and all things cozy. Something you guys might not know about me is that I'm absolutely obsessed with Bridgerton. So us Bridgerton fans have been awaiting season 3 of Bridgerton for about 2 years now, which was a really long time to wait for something. However, Queen Charlotte, the spin-off show, was released between seasons. Previously, Netflix would release every Bridgerton episode all at once on Netflix. It's actually also now being released as a part 1 and a part 2. So part 1 came out on May 16th, with part 2 being released on June the 13th. This week, which is amazing. It's gotten a lot of controversy in the fandom because a lot of people think, oh, we've already waited so long. I'm of the opinion that Bridgerton is a show that takes such a lot of people to make. If you go with Daphne alone in season 1, she had something like 100 different dresses or something. 100 different dresses just for one character. The wigs, the costuming, the sets, everything is so detailed on this show. I'm just glad we're getting it finally. And I think I didn't mind waiting a little bit longer for it. I know for the past month I've had more time to sort of digest the episodes I've watched. I remember when I was a little girl, we had to wait every week for an episode of a TV show to come out every week. One episode. Okay, so let's talk about Polin. So, I am so excited that we're finally seeing a plus size character. It's so refreshing to see a plus size woman being lusted after and desired and being chased like the beautiful woman she is. This season, it has not become anything about her size. It's purely about the fact that she's a shy, timid girl who likes to read, she's an introvert. And also, the carriage scene though. Listen, I know it's the end of the season, but I can't help myself. The carriage scene was everything. And also, Luke Newton has also confirmed the new so-called theory, if you know what I mean. And if you don't, that's fine. I'm not going to talk about it in this video because I don't want to get a strike or anything, but if you know, you know, and I'm with you. Okay, so let's talk about Penelope's glow up. Shondaland does this in a lot of their other shows as well, where the characters has a glow up. Now, you can take that concept what you will. I feel like it's a trope we've seen a lot in early 2000s teen rom-coms. Think Anne Hathaway in Princess Diary, taking off her glasses and all of a sudden she's this beautiful princess. And it's very like, it could be a very shallow affair. Let's take Penelope in season 1 for example. The Featheringtons are wearing citrus colours, you know, yellows, oranges, green, and Penelope is always wearing yellow and what Nicola Coughlan calls her poodle wig, which is a very unflattering wig, and it's kind of, or it's trying too much. I actually think her yellow dress that she's so known for, I think is quite beautiful. Obviously these colours are quite contrasting. Shondaland does this with a lot of their characters where they purposely put them in colours and styles that are unflattering to them. Seasons later, when it's their turn to be the season lead, then tweak everything about that to find their best colours, their best makeup, their best hairstyles to really like make the character pop. And it's very effective and very clever. So this season, Penelope's glow up has come in the form of changing her colour palette from all the lime colours, the yellow, to emerald greens and lighter baby blues. All of these colours are much more flattering to Nicola Coughlan's, like brings out her eyes, her skin colour, her beautiful red hair. She becomes like the siren with her Aretha Hayworth kind of styled wig and her pearls. Things that are not necessarily historically accurate. It's more taking inspiration from old Hollywood. So they've taken a lot more liberties with the fashion this season, but I think it kind of works. So Colin has also received quite the makeover this season with his French fashions and his kind of new, you know, more douchey behaviour. Like, I think he's acting like that because he is still a bit scarred what happened to him in season 2 when he went to see Marina and she basically told him to grow up. And now he's just kind of completely given in. And the Colin that people like me love is the Colin who is kind and compassionate and has always been there for Penelope. and been the kind brother and the kind son, and this season we're seeing it flipped up. But obviously he gets more attention now because he just doesn't care. He's out to have a good time. Colin and Penelope are receiving more attention for their external looks, but I also think they're both undergoing a more physical transformation as well, which both have the same moral. So Penelope has the new dresses, the new hair, everything, but she's still struggling with her confidence and her sort of inner work, and all the costumes and the clothes hasn't changed her confidence, but she also has come more into her own. So the incident in the garden with Colin last season, where he basically said he would never court Penelope Featherington, has, I think, transformed her in a good way in some ways, because the fact that she's now standing up to Colin and calling him out on his really ridiculous behaviour, as she should. She's found a more newfound respect for herself. She's realised that, okay, maybe Colin isn't for me. I have my own business as Lady Whistledown. I can clearly fend for myself. What I need to do now is find a husband. Penelope was not right in writing a whole Lady Whistledown post about how Colin is two-faced. Like, that wasn't the right way to handle the situation. She is right though, he's definitely hiding behind something, but then again, so is she. So the parallels are coming together. They're both hiding from their true selves, and I think that's also how they're going to meet in the middle, having common ground. I also think Colin has definitely been taking Penelope for granted up until this point, and it's only when he starts spending more time with her that he realises, actually, she's really cool. And obviously the kiss scene broke my heart, you guys. It was so sad. I just felt so bad for Penelope, being like, I've never been kissed, Colin, please can you kiss me? And she thinks, you can see it in her eyes, the moment they kiss each other, she just looks devastated, like, oh, this was my first and only ever kiss. Her family has done such damage to her self-esteem and her self-belief, saying she will never get married, she can never find anyone. It's just heartbreaking that she just thinks in that moment, that's it then. And she's also struggling a lot this season, I think, because of the falling out she's had with Eloise, who's her best friend, who's now taking Cressida Cowper under her wing, which is, you know, you could say an unlikely pairing, but I think it actually makes a lot of sense, because what Penelope did to Eloise is obviously horrible, and I completely understand why Eloise is feeling the way she's feeling. And then I think somewhere along the line of trying to sort of get revenge on Penelope a little bit, she realised actually she's quite lonely and Cressida is good company. And Eloise seems to be going with the flow a lot more this season. She seems to want to not ruffle any feathers. I really am enjoying though seeing the dynamic between Cressida and Eloise. I think we are going to see more of that in part 2, I really hope. I hope they're going to explore that more, because I think Cressida is a really interesting character to unpack. It's boring just having good characters, I suppose. It's good to see multifaceted women. Now, this season, actress Hannah Dodd has replaced Ruby Stokes as Francesca Bridgerton. At first, I think most fans were a little bit like, I mean, it's you always get nervous, I think, when they replace an actress in anything. You just feel like, oh, is this going to feel different, or is it going to be the same? I think Hannah Dodd is fantastic as Francesca. She's really brought her to life, and obviously she was more of a side character before, but it was exciting to see a new sibling get a spotlight on them. It makes the show feel fresh again. When a lot of people saw the trailer and what she looked like, it was excellent casting. She looks so much like Phoebe and / Daphne. She kind of has that diamond of the season look about her. She's stunning, Hannah Dodd, classic beauty, but she couldn't be more different from her siblings, which is a completely contrast to the Bridgerton family, because every single one of the siblings, if you think about it, they are all very outgoing, magnetic people who likes taking up space. Francesca is really challenging that. She's content with just being, which I think really stresses out Violet a lot. She wants all of her children to have this magnetic firework, love-matchy moment. And Francesca's like, I'll be fine if I just marry anyone. She doesn't really want to get married. She's just happy by herself. She's a healthy dynamic in this family. I'm not saying all the Bridgertons are the same, but she's definitely the most different one. And up until now, we used to think it was Eloise, but I think Eloise is very much a Bridgerton. She's loud, she's opinionated. I think they all like to ruffle feathers and have a bit of attention, but Francesca doesn't. And I think also the little situationship she's having with John Sterling is so cute. My next topic of discussion is Lord Debling. Oh my god. Lord Debling is the hottest guy I've ever seen on Bridgerton. On a serious note, I quite like his character. Like, I actually shipped them for a while watching this. I think he is the total package. He's clever, he's kind, he's patient, and he is also the first guy who noticed Penelope for who she is. It wasn't about the external glow up at all. It was literally about the fact that she's this introvert who likes reading books, and he liked her for her. She just stood out to him in a good way. And I think Polin could have noticed Penelope a lot sooner. She is a catch. And for a long time, I think a lot of people have had an issue with the fact that Polin has taken Penelope so for granted for such a long time. I've been in that camp for sure. I'm like, the way he spoke to her last season was disgusting. I kind of like, almost like, bye, Lord Debling. I'd marry him if you don't want to, Penelope. And then at the last second, they're like, oh, I can't love you. And I was like, damn it. I slightly ship it in my heart still. I just think a man should appreciate a woman for what she is, but alas. So we've also had a few side romances this season. Violet and Marcus. If you've watched Queen Charlotte, you've seen that Violet has opened up about seeming ready, at least, to dip her toes into dating again after losing Edmund, who was the greatest love of her life. But she seems very eager to get back into things again. And with Marcus being Lady Danbury's brother, that creates a bit of an interesting dynamic. I think we're going to see some more drama in the next part about that, because Lady Danbury does not seem to get on with her brother at all. And I wonder what's happened there, because Lady Danbury pretty much doesn't have a bad word to speak of anyone. I really hope it's not going to be this just like castaway sideline story. I hope we're going to get to the meat of what's happened between Lady Danbury and Marcus. I really want to know why. And then seeing Benedict having this little fling with Lady Tilly Arnold, played by Hannah New, who I am a massive fan of. Black Sails is one of my favourite TV shows of all time, and I loved her in that, and I haven't seen her in anything else since that, so it was lovely seeing her again. I think Benedict and Tilly's chemistry is off the charts, and I'm kind of sad that I know that this is just a side fling and it won't last. I really want them to be together now. Like, I'm fully there. Also in my canon, Benedict is totally bi. I'm really disappointed that I haven't seen him with, like, that we haven't had enough queer scenes in Bridgerton, because he's a total queer-coded character to me. In season 1, his longing looks at that artist. I'm sorry, they left us crumbs. They should have given us the whole cake. However, his chemistry with Lady Tilly Arnold, off the charts, and I kind of hope she sticks around for longer. I hope she's not this side piece. Also, Canthony, my Canthony fans. I won't talk about them too much because obviously they're not the main part of the season. Season 2 of Bridgerton is still my favourite, with Kate and Anthony. They're my favourite couple. I don't know, I love them together, and I was very curious to see Kate's new role as a Viscountess and their marriage, and it was everything I hoped for. They're going to be probably absent for the rest of the episodes. They're going on their honeymoon, or second honeymoon. I feel lucky that we got to see them at all in the season, because previously we've seen other couples just like fade out. I think they're going to come back probably for part 2 for Polin's wedding. And I didn't think I would ever say this, but I don't mind, because I think we've had our Canthony fill for the season, and I'm fine with that. The carriage scene again was everything. I just loved everything about it. The music choice was quite, I don't know if you guys realise, but it's actually a Pitbull song that's playing in the background. Hey, Mr. Worldwide. Everything sounds so beautiful with the string arrangements that Bridgerton do. So I didn't even know until I saw an interview of someone pointing it out, and it's hilarious. To just see Pen going from being so heartbroken to thinking she's completely embarrassed herself. She's lost Lord Debling's proposal, and then to hear Colin like confess his love in front of her, and for her to not believe a word of what he's saying. It's just heartbreaking. and then to see the build up of, you know, what happens next if you've seen the scene. It's beautiful and intimate, and it felt so nice. They actually said that the way they filmed it was just Nicola and Luke in the carriage together. There wasn't anyone else in, they just had a camera in there. You can really tell that they've put a lot of thought into it. And I think they've played that role very well, of going from being really close friends to being more than that. So part 2 comes out this week, where everyone in the Bridgerton family seem ecstatic about Pen and Colin's engagement, except Eloise, of course, which is going to bring the drama of the season. I think Eloise is going to tell Colin, she's going to tell Colin, no, listen, she is Lady Whistledown. And I think what's going to happen in true Colin fashion, he's not going to believe her. But then he's going to catch her in the act, because we saw this little clip of Nicola Coughlan having like ink stain on her hands, and I think maybe that's the scene where he finds out. I'm not sure how, but I think that's probably what's going to happen. Again, I haven't read the books, this is just my little speculation. I also think there's a possibility he might find out after the wedding rather than before. Or maybe it's going to be like a season 2 situation where they find out at the altar, someone exposes her somehow, or the Queen comes in and like, I found out that you're Lady Whistledown, I'm going to behead you, something. Or she's going to confess everything. In the very last edition of the Lady Whistledown Society papers, she's going to say, actually, it's me, don't prosecute the Bridgertons anymore, I did it. But then Nicola Coughlan has said in interviews, she's the richest woman in London, she's not going to give it up. So I don't know what to think. Probably for the show to move on, Lady Whistledown needs to be outed in this season, otherwise it's not going to work for the plot lines. But I'm kind of sad to see it go, because it's so fun. If you need one good reason to watch Bridgerton, it's Julie Andrews' voice narrating at Lady Whistledown. I just hope they don't get rid of that, because I just love it. As many fans will notice, Daphne has not been in this season at all. Obviously the Duke decided to depart the show after season 1. They've passed on the torch to other characters, and I'm really excited to see the younger siblings get their fair share. So it was supposed to be Benedict's season this season, and when I first saw that Lady Tilly romance, I was like, oh god, have they just squeezed Benedict's story into this little side piece thing? But I really hope, just because they've swapped around the order, and Colin and Penelope's story was supposed to be next season, so season 4, if they go by the order of the books. But I really hope Benedict is going to be the next one after this, because I just really want to see that story. A lot of people have said to me that that's the best book, and when he meets Sophie, that's like their favourite, and it's reminiscent of a Cinderella kind of story. I'm excited to see that, personally. I also want to note, my favourite character in the whole show is Portia Featherington. I love the Featherington family, and in this season they're so funny. They're always funny, but when Portia needs her daughters to produce a male heir and they don't know how to make a male heir, shall we say, and she just says, must one tell a baker how to bake? It's just so funny. Her delivery, I love her delivery of lines, her sarcasm, her side-eye. She is just like an icon. She's manipulative, she's lying, she's not very nice to Penelope at all, but she's still iconic. And I'm going to be really sad next season, because I feel like they're going to probably slowly remove the Featherington family as well, because it wouldn't make sense to have them around when sort of everyone's storyline in that family has been resolved. The Featherington family, to me, is like the comedic relief of the show that we need, because everything is so serious and passionate, and I just really appreciate that we get a little comedic moment. And I like the villainous characters on a show often, because they get to really have fun with their acting and expression, and I just think Lady Featherington is iconic, and I'm kind of like trying to savor as many scenes of hers as I can, because I just feel like next season she won't be present as much, which I'll be sad to see, but there you go. I'm not too sure what to expect for next for the next part, other than the fact that obviously Colin and Penelope will be married. Hopefully the Featherington sisters can produce a male heir. I don't know. But yeah, I have many thoughts. I could have talked about so many other characters in the show. I feel like I've threw up on the camera for like an hour now, so I'm going to leave it here. But what I will say is I'm so excited for part 2, and it's going to be great. And I am probably going to make a video about part 2 as well. If you like Bridgerton like me, tell me in the comments, what was your favourite episode from this part 1? What are you excited to see in part 2, and do you have any predictions? Please remember to like this video. You are flawless, my dear. You're the diamond of the season. And I'm gonna leave you now because this tiara is kind of tugging my head and it's kind of not the one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I will see you soon, and bye.